Mm-hmm.
Good. That's good. Oh, everybody's seeing us clearly. Everyone, you're gonna have to excuse my voice tonight. It's recovering. Everyone gonna have to. So, just gonna wait up a little to have everybody else come on in and join the live. Remember, as you come on, this is my little lubrication. Remember, as you come on to just like the live, um, and you can say hi to us and we say hi to you. And the topic tonight, I believe, is going to be very interesting. And so we look forward to hearing everybody's, thoughts on the topic. Michelle, we have to do more talking than me.
Hey, this topic.
Because my voice is not at its best right now. Um, as I say, it's recovering. And I went a little too hard the other night. Preaching, that is.
Hey, come on, girl.
All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys and to have you joining in the conversation. Um, how are you? How are you been doing?
I'm tired, but I'm taking it in strides.
We Jordan caught me assisting Michelle in some work,
Hey.
you know, because the least I can do is put on the buttons.
No, actually, that's a lot too. That's a big
So
help.
so what and we see over 800 persons viewed it between day before was it Monday or so Tuesday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday
when I
in
went
the
to
practice.
practice.
Between Wednesday, Wednesday and yesterday. So yeah, even my sister called and she's like, yeah, yeah,
Carrie.
well, yeah, my mission have it on there. Do. So
Teamwork, made the
yes,
teamwork.
so at least I could, and as you say, it's a big help. So I'm happy for that. For those coming on now, please pardon my voice. It is in recovery mode, but Michelle and I would be we want to do the live, so we say,
Yeah.
we're gonna fight through it, um, just to have the live on, and we look forward to, as we say, hearing from you guys on the topic.
Even though we haven't done our introduction yet.
I know, so we're gonna do the introduction. So hi everyone, welcome to another
Conversation with Elise.
conversation with Elise. We are live tonight. We want to welcome all our new subscribers. We are happy. And I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes we look at some other YouTubers
A
know,
breeze.
who start literally like this year or whatever, and their subscription shoops. But one thing that I remind myself that don't make a comparison, just put in the work. But how do you deal with it when you
Really, I just look at it that in life, anything that is really substantial, it takes time
it
to
takes time
build.
to do?
And the majority, most of the time, don't quickly jump at it. They want to see the mass before they join. So
Mhm.
it's just patience.
Yes.
It's just patience.
But we are at 524, and we
We are
are happy.
grateful.
We are like over the moon because you guys, you have been helping us. You have been telling somebody. You have been spreading the word, and so we want to welcome all you who are new to the family,
Yes, welcome.
and we want to
Happy to have you.
encourage you to tell somebody else, share the videos, and help us. We're on our way to 1,000K,
Right.
and we're going to be making a lot more content for you guys. A lot more with, apart from our discussions, a lot more with fun
Yeah.
activities in it and so forth. So stay tuned. So as you see the topic, again, just apologizing for my voice. it is in recovery mode. All right. But as
Yeah, yeah. He actually went out to minister
Thursday
Thursday
night,
night.
yeah,
So he laid all at the master's feet.
yeah, kind of
So
put it all out
it
there.
was a blessing though.
It was. I went to Faith Deliverance
Yeah.
in Portmore.
And
Um,
Costello.
but guys, as you say, if you're on the live, you can just say hi to us if you choose to. But if you don't still like the live and keep watching, we're gonna touch on this topic and we want to hear, everybody's view as they come on and tell us what it is. So the question is that we have raised is, should
Body.
body count being in church or being in the church?
Woo.
No, I would listen. I would hear people talk about it. Other YouTubers, you hear it in shows and so forth, and so you kind of get the gist of what it is. But I didn't just take it for the fact that okay, that's what it meant. Actually, went and looked it up, and it's really, I gather it stems from um, um, the amount of bodies, like in war, the amount of bodies
Accounted
that
for.
you kill or the enemy, or I mean, how many enemy bodies you can account for that were killed, and even in your own army, because what we learned also is that nobody leaves a soldier behind,
Right.
so everybody has to be accounted for. But I also said, hmm. And then the other definition we saw was that it says the amount of bodies in a particular activity.
Activity.
So we're like, okay, that's what it means. Then we look further down, we start saying, it's okay, body count, meaning in the meaning of body count in relationship. And what it means, which we know confirm, that it means how many persons somebody has been with,
Yeah.
slept with, over a period of time or
Prior
over.
to their recent relationship.
Right. So the question then, as we then we realize that the discussion is happening, in the outside of church, and that's how we get to hear whatever.
Yeah.
And but we know as time evolves, things evolve. So maybe
Yeah.
back in our days,
Yes.
this was not a
No, honestly,
conversation.
I think it was maybe there wasn't really a name that was put on it, but low key it existed. Because back in the day, you would have a lot of persons saying the thing was them don't want any puss in bag.
Right.
But along with that, I think came with if a young lady maybe was too experienced more than the man, meaning that they slept before they found Christ, they maybe slept around or what have you. You'll find some men who back then would have been low key, reserve,
Avoiding.
right, reserve themselves from such, young lady.
Mhm.
And I would want to think that it's even worse now, low key. Low
Well,
key.
well, and as Michelle touched
It
about,
shouldn't, but
well, we soon get to the should or the do, the should or the shouldn't. One other thing, and again, for those who are coming on, please pardon my voice. It's in recovery mode.
I,
Hold on, before we get into that, before you speak, Jessica,
hi Jess, welcome my daughter.
and if you think, and
Welcome Jess, good to have you as always.
if you see me drinking something, it's pure
It's
water.
water, because his voice
The
is
voice is recovering,
gone. Well, it is recovering. We can hear you now.
recovering.
Yeah, you
All
were
right, so
saying.
the thing is, um, most persons, that's Jordan.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So most persons, um, before they were not before they came to most persons were not who are in church were not born in church,
Yeah.
right?
Jessica said get well soon.
Thank you so
Hey,
much.
good night,
Yes.
Carlene. Good night. Good to
Hi,
have your
Carlene.
mom.
Yes, most persons in church did not grow up in church.
Right.
Most of them, before they met Christ, had their life, living their life outside of Christ, right? But when they get into Christ now, um, they they would have been, you know, transformed by the renewing of their minds, by living by the word of God, you know, and building their spiritual self through prayer and fasting and reading the word and so forth, right? But in the world, or outside of church, don't use it that way. The discussion is raging as to, you know, does body count matter? And we find that what normally is the biggest talk about it, or the biggest thing about it, is whether or not people are willing people are willing
Mm-hmm.
to fess up and to speak the truth, right? To speak the truth about it, because we really see certain discussions in outside of church. It is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So let's address what we hear before we get into it. What is that we hear in outside of church regarding body count?
Coming to your Carlin say honey and lime calling the name.
You know, I have a sweetie with them onion lime, and
He bought
I've been
some
doing
stuff
it.
for it. So yeah,
And
basic.
guys, if you're on the line, just say hi to us. We say hi back to you.
You know, as you say, outside of the world, I've heard it a lot also.
Church.
In the church,
Outside of church.
outside of church, right?
Mhm.
I've heard it a lot. But the thing that I find so ironic, most of the persons that I've heard with this, that when me I choose a woman for my wife, me have to know her body count. This is outside of the world.
Mhm.
I mean, I say sometimes most of these men, their body count already falling off the list.
Mhm.
So it's very ironic that it seems as if they would want a chaste virgin,
Mhm.
and it's ironic. They are done in the world to say, but yet they want a chaste virgin for their wife, and I think it's just unethical. Basically, it's unethical because
When he says unethical, meaning what?
I don't believe that, like for me, I'm not into the fact that you'll have a man that was a womanizer, and say for instance, he might have 100 and odd person that you have been with, because I believe that those experiences that he too have gone on, it's a bug me a little, because I'll be wondering, all right, so if I should marry him now or be with him in a serious relationship, is he comparing me, or am I able to satisfy him? So it could be twofold too,
So what? So
in a sense.
based on what we have heard, who is more concerned about body count, the male
I
or the
would think the
female?
male is the male, because most ladies just want to know that the man is a decent man, faithful,
Have
family
ambition.
oriented, right? Family oriented, ambitious, and hardworking, and even God fearing too, whether or not they're Christians,
Mhm.
because most women in the back of their mind too, they know that they want to get married one day, settle down, and they want also to serve the Lord in whatever form they
Mhm.
think of.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say the male want to feel like they want to, okay, have he, she, and the old lady, but in all of that having, those are bodies that are being account. You
Accumulated.
understand?
Mhm.
But yet, none of those that are on the list, they don't deem themselves all right. She may go settle down, she may, because it just, it's a thing within their mind that, boy, if me do go down the road there and then, you know, where's and where's, that one they're out in the street, that's what they call it.
Mhm.
They call the ladies who have a lot of body count out in the street, and it's unfair, because if the
Mhm.
ladies are out in the street, what would you say the men are doing?
So Jessica agrees with you. She said that is true.
It's
So you
true,
have to do the
man.
reading of
Yeah,
this.
sorry.
So go
So,
on.
all right. So just before just right, Jessica said true. Yes, that's true. And yeah. Hey, good night, Ron. Welcome, cuz. Ron said, good night, guys. I'm here at the gym, just checking in for a little bit.
Appreciate it.
Understand, cuz.
Appreciate it,
Greatly
Ron.
appreciate it. Yeah, and I can understand that it is really a real concern for some persons, especially within the world, because there are other factors that come into play right now, even long before now. STDs, you understand, if such a person is able to commit to one person,
Mhm.
you understand, and boy, what am I picking up? If it's a lady now, she'll be wondering, am I picking up Rochelle, Chanel, us Jessica,
because
Michelle,
because
and
what
a lot of other women, so
because what people go through, they can
they
bring into the next
right,
relationship, into the
beautiful.
present
As
relationship.
Cornell said, what people go through most of the time, they bring it over into the other relationship. And every present woman within in such a relationship is being compared and judged by the past body counts.
Mhm.
In a sense, you
Mhm.
understand. So it is it really is for some
I can be
persons.
what Jessica says. I
uh,
think she has to say.
Right. So Jessica said, most women that I see and screen and read in books, unfortunately, do like men who are experienced, and that is true. Sometimes, and with that, they don't really care much about it. In fact, it might be a plus for them, and that is true in most of the books that I read to Jess. And in those cases, as long as the man is wealthy, you understand, and have some form of
Stability.
stability and whatever, it don't really matter to them. When it becomes a problem to them now is, for instance, that man is within a circle where he maybe have to work and encounter with some of those ladies, and then most of those, depending on the book or the movie or what is the point,
Mhm.
the main subject of it,
Mhm.
though some of those women may come into play, and then it becomes a problem. And as Jessica said again, men, on the other hand, are the opposite. True that, especially if the woman already have, or consider so that in their black will, if the woman already have
Let me
under
see.
their belt, there's a word hiding.
Okay. I already have.
Let me touch this, see if it will make a difference.
No, I'm trying to
Can't
see.
see.
Let's still be the same.
Right.
Already have.
Oh, but fair is fair. If a lady already have there under the belt,
Okay.
but fair,
I can
yeah,
see that.
but
You see.
fair is fair. You can't require same when you do the opposites. That's true, and it is foolishness.
Mhm.
It is foolishness. So
All right.
yeah, most men
Yeah.
more than women.
So, so then I just come in a very good point.
Yes, it is.
But based on the discussion we have heard, do you think that it matters, like on a scale of, well, from 10 to 100%,
Mhm.
how much it matters to the female?
I would say it matters to the female
How much?
10%. Yeah, I think it matters to the female 10% because sometimes it depends even on which culture. Because even within our country or in the black race, I think most black women really don't care. They just want to know, so you have me down, and what is mine, and is me you're coming home too,
Mhm.
most of the time. You understand? So the 10%, I'll get to understand that maybe in some even other culture, they do, most ladies, when the man pose the issue, most ladies retaliate. Especially the Latinos. So what's your body count?
Mhm.
So you've been with she? And and remember, I'm not all person, but that's
No, no,
my,
just based on
yeah,
what you have
based on
heard.
my what
Yeah.
I've heard and read, in the
So,
West.
so basically, then we can agree. Well, we can say that men tend to. It's more a thing for men,
Yeah,
a
it's more
concern
a
for
thing
men
for
than
men
women. So, like
than a
about
woman.
80% or so for the man, and think
Mm,
along that line.
think along that line because, as Jessica would say, they are kids. Most men, when it come to their woman and situation like that, that's when the childish behavior comes out.
Mhm.
It's like most men want to know that I made a king here, so me the first one. Bless
Conquer
up
this
here,
land
conquer this land. And you're my land, you're my island. So no other clear man. Most men are like that, whether
territorial.
married or unmarried, whether in the church or in the world, they're very territorial.
Mhm.
And you will find out that you will have a lot of ladies in the world also who have been with a lot of men because life happened early for some person. They really, and we're not condemning anybody, 'cause
No.
everybody have their experience. They have they may
Mhm.
have a big body count, and that doesn't really lessen the woman quality as long as a person have learned, and have moved away from certain lifestyle and better themselves. Who is anyone to judge? But the truth is, some ladies found in that situation have to hide what their body counts are because they know that the man that they're with are very judgmental or will judge them even though they have paused certain things. So they will hide it.
All right, so that brings me, takes us into a nice segue into how, as it relates to, and we want to hear your views, guys, as it relates to being in the church.
No.
Because, all right, from the get go, when you become a Christian, when you become a follower of Christ, the first thing you're required to do is to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And then be honest with God, and then you make a decision to repent and to give your life to the Lord and to be baptized and so forth. So that would be the start of your relationship with God, and you're expected to maintain that. Now, when it comes down to you being having a relationship or deciding to be in a relationship, do you think then? And you guys, you can, as I said, share your thoughts. That should be a topic or something that is on the list of discussion. What was your
According to the church?
what as no when you become a Christian and you're now serving the Lord and somebody's interested in you during dating, during courtship,
the honesty.
do you think that the body count, just like how you want to find out, where they live, their mother, their background,
do you have any disease? Just the same.
Do you think that it should be
on
an
the
item
table
for discussion?
It should be on the table. If you know that, say for instance, you know that you were, what do you call it, promiscuous person,
prior to coming to the Lord.
Prior to coming to the Lord, be honest about it. You have nothing to be ashamed of. That was your past, and we were all sinners before we get saved, and every sinner sin. So no one should really be judged for it per se, but because of honesty, put it on the table. And once you know that you have put it on the table, that man have accepted you and everything, you're supposed to accept you for all your colors before you go down the aisle. So give him the information so he know if you do with it. For instance, no, suppose you have done so, and later
Done
down,
so in terms of
suppose
you told him your body
right, you told him your body count, and it wasn't as few as most men would want to hear, because we know that the chiefest of sinners, men, they want chaste virgins. We know that, but that's not just the reality of life.
No,
and that's stemmed from the Bible in a sense, but that's another topic. However, everybody don't come in those nice little package, as some would call it, because that can be have its own disadvantages too. Right? So you put it on the table, and if it's like nothing to him, well, if it's a problem to him and you're able to get past it, well. But down the road, when life is happening, that should never be a subject back on the table to throw back in the woman or the man's face, because that was dealt with before. Coming together. However, if it was hidden because somebody felt like they're ashamed of their past, because people are human, which it shouldn't be.
Or they didn't give the right number.
Or they didn't give the right number because they didn't want to be judged by anyone or what have you. And later on, the person found out and, take it hard. Then you're going to feel bad because you're going to blame yourself. Like, God, I should have said it.
But hold up then. I read the message first.
But it shouldn't be a reason for annul the marriage or not. All right. So Jessica said, my opinion, I think that the church holds a strong foundation for relationships, really as the ultimate goal. Most times is marriage, sometimes stable, but sometimes people rush into that to become more intimate. Right. Having a past, I think, in church will be difficult, in my opinion. Having a past, like you're a person in church and you have a past, but it would be difficult. It really shouldn't be, It really shouldn't be, because.
Hold on. Don't forget. Jessica, why do you think it will be difficult? I want to hear that, but finish what you were saying.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be, but we all know that in any assembly, you have goats and you have sheep. You have sheep. And the reason for
Why would you
that,
go? Why would in
I
essence,
went
in
there
essence,
because
all right.
some people are there to try your
But
faith.
but goats and sheep don't necessarily mean
The wheat and the tear shall
all
grow
right.
together. So I call it goat
All
and
right.
sheep. So basically, some persons are there or will be there to hold on to people's past, even when God have delivered you and you're growing and excelling in the Lord and winning soul for the Lord. Especially when you start excelling for the Lord, that is when the goats are going to hold on upon the past and say, "Watch her, see her. You know, she did a prostitute, you know. You know, say her mother did a bend." It do happen.
Mhm.
It do happen, and people are human beings. As much as you may be changed now and filled with the Spirit, when you realize that you're being dragged in the mud, of course you're going to hold on to the Lord, and you're going to have to love such a one who are doing this to you. So I think Jessica do have a point. It can become difficult, but it don't mean that you are going to stop striving for the Lord. It don't mean that you're going to stop pressing on into higher heights. You understand? But the truth is, just like in the world, you have a lot of hypocrites. The world is filled with hypocrites. So let us not take it for granted that even at church and not everybody go for Jesus. They started going for Jesus, but they can't bother with the journey and them rather just stay in there and give some problem other than really surrender their life. And it is everywhere, to be honest. So we can't make that stop us. We cannot make that stop us, but it can be challenging when you have a past, but it also can be beautiful because most of the persons who get saved and have a past that is see mucky, they win the most souls for the Lord.
Because they share their share.
They share their
And it brings me to the point. But before I get to that, guys, remember to like the live as you come on. And if you're here
Mhm.
for the first time watching, I am Cornell, and this is my lovely wife Michelle. My voice, as Jordan has put up, it's in recovery. So that's why I sound like this. But yeah, if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing if you have not yet done so. But hit the like button; it helps the channel, and of course, say hi to us, and we say hi to you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. What was it? Oh God, I missed the point.
Yeah, we were talking about the persons who have a past and it become difficult because you have
And their mess becomes your
their
message.
message.
All right. No, one of the thing.
Hi BFF underscore GG, welcome.
Welcome. One of the thing that you find though is that some people, but and the opposite to me is stronger, where some people come into church or come into Christ and they're afraid to tell of their past. And what they don't know is that the more you hold back, or you hold back on your past, is the more the guilt and the enemy of our souls, tend to hold it over us, because if we keep it to ourselves, if we keep it locked in, how many person, for example, this topic, how many persons you've been with, boy, if anybody should hear, and you find that most of the time is the ladies who are afraid to even speak that number. A man will say, "Oh boy, I was a gallus and I had 15 girlfriend," and people just laugh. If a lady were to stand and testify and say she had 15 men, there would not be any laughter in the church.
Yeah, that's true. Hold a minute. So BFF underscore Juju, what's wrong with his voice? Is he sick? Okay. So what happened? We said it earlier, but we'll say it again.
I'm gonna get some more remedy.
Yeah, his voice is recovering because he went out to minister on Thursday night, to a sister church, and his voice, because he was, when Pentecostal minister, they put all into it. So the day after, he have gotten hoarse. Yeah, but his voice is coming back. It was worse than that. Yes, but yeah, as Connor was saying, yeah, your mess can become your message in the sense that when you hold back on your testimony, you don't know who else within that congregation is going through the same thing, and they are condemning themselves and feel like there's no hope for them. So when you do share and testify, I know that a lot of person hold back. So you can pick up what you were saying.
Yeah.
They
So
feel ashamed.
yeah, and further to that, I was saying that whereas we find that most of the time ladies are afraid to speak about.
Yeah, Jen.
Yep. I think she had
Oh,
a
Jessica said something.
yeah earlier.
Oh,
So
yes. Oh, so you want me to
yes,
read?
I go back to it and then I'll finish what I was
Okay.
saying.
All right. So Jessica said, um, exceptions, social morals, and so forth are some reason why it will prove difficult, especially among people who opt to be righteous or chaste in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do just
No,
something
no,
else.
no, 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 see this. Could just write up.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, right. Rush into that to become right. Okay. No, that's not that one. Just a minute.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, especially people who appear to be righteous are chaste in that regard. It's true.
All right. And that is regarding
Yeah.
why it will be
Why it
difficult.
will be difficult.
So,
It's true.
so the point I was making is this. Most of the time when you have persons being delivered and they're testifying of their past, a man will stand up and say, I was a girl that had 15 women. But if a woman, and then the church would
Maybe
laugh.
laugh.
The church would laugh because you're saying, why you've been bad. But then if a lady stood and say she had 15 men, they would not be
There be
laughing.
gazes
Everybody
and
like, ooh,
shaking of the head and
ah,
and
ooh. And or because you have persons now and churches now who are understanding themselves. So
yeah.
whereas the men, a man will testify of his 15 women, and he may hear a laugh. When you hear a woman say 15, she had 15 men, there's certain level of empathy that comes to say, boy, wonder why it happened that way.
Yeah.
We know why she went that part. But most of the time, ladies are afraid to say what their body count was before they
Yeah,
come to
because they know
Christ.
they'll be jabbed. But the truth is, what
No, no, not that they know they'll be judged because what they think that they think they will
they
be
will be
judged.
dragged
Yeah.
because honestly sometimes I would say if there's person in this situation, get over the fear and
Tell it, tell
testify
it, tell it
because
like it
you
is.
are delivered by the power of your testimony too.
Yes, yes,
And when you speak out like that, you're also becoming a witness of what God have done and what He can do. And
yes.
like I said before,
And
sometimes there
others are hearing
others are
who need
hearing
to
or
come out
who
of the
need to come out of
situation.
that situation
Yes.
and who are there feeling stifled because and condemning themselves because they believe there's no hope for them because there's nobody else is in this place in that situation like them.
Hmm.
But when you speak, when if we're going through these things and when God delivers us and when we speak of it and give God the glory, then others can say, "Wow, I guess there's hope for my situation,"
Right,
and
right,
wow, and then they too can get delivered
right.
you know and most of the time it's just a handful of persons who are condemning, and to be honest, sometimes the persons who might condemn, those persons have done worse.
So,
They have done worse.
so the question is then, um, do you think um, if you're approached by a brother in the Lord, right, and that brother
Coming Curly.
in the discussion, in
Hmm.
that discussion, you know, big art, football art, in that art, two things, two scenarios. There shouldn't be a reason for you not to be honest with your body count.
Hmm.
Because when we were dating, we would talk about if you have had any other relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we never had the term body count.
Right,
We would
right.
ask how many other relationships you've
Really,
had,
right, that's
and then
true.
now we would be open and say, well, I had none, I did, whatever the case may
Or if
be.
you have, you have.
Right. And in Michelle's case, we never had any. Individual. We had probably girlfriend and boyfriend situation, but there wasn't anybody
Body
when he
count.
became an adult. There was nobody that we said, okay, this was my um lady or my man, whatever the case is.
Hmm.
No, so our case was a different case. However, hold on, before you
Hmm.
call it, I don't want to lose the point. Before you record it,
Yeah.
um, should it be then that if in courtship and you're talking to somebody and the person asks you and you're being honest and let's use a lady And the lady, and just be honest and say, you know, I've had, or my body count is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Or say, all right, let's do the exorbitant number, 25.
Mm-hmm.
And that brother in turn says, that is just a deal breaker for me.
Then you know, go on, you let him walk on real walk. No, and sometimes maybe you were just saved from a whole lot, because if a man don't believe that he's man enough, no, Christ have changed the individual.
Right.
First of all, as a man
Transform.
of God, if you know you believe in God and you know what God have done for you to save you, because none of us was born saved and sanctified. We have all have done something, been somewhere, or
Right.
what have you. Well, if you're born in a church, that's different. Even people who born in a church sometimes mess up within
Still
there.
do bad things.
So if he is not capable enough to know that Christ saves and he heals and he delivers, right? That issue is not about the young
And
lady, it's about him not being able to cross over an obstacle that
and
has been, it's not even in effect anymore. So he's not man enough any which way to deal with
and
the person.
if it is that is his only problem, he's not mature enough.
Exactly, for marriage.
Because although I'm gonna say something else, but I'm looking at it to say, if that would be his only sticking point,
Yeah.
and he's not willing to look past that, to look at all the other qualities that he has that attracted him to
Yeah.
you. If he's not looking to look against, look
What else
past
the
that,
young lady brings to the
bring to the table,
table?
then he's not the one.
He's not the one.
But would you then wrong him for being honest with himself?
No, I did not wrong him for being. No, you couldn't. And that's why I said you have to count it all joy, because at least he saved you from maybe more than one thing. Because that's definitely not the man for the person, for more reason than one. But it's just
then
that
you can see on his side too.
that he was honest and he helped the person save whatever it was too. So you have to, and that's the thing though. You have when you're getting to know persons, and we have spoke about this already. When you're getting to know persons, you have to know that nothing is set in stone. You are going to learn things that is fine with you. People may learn things that no, this is a
It's not work for
mountain.
me.
It's yeah, and that's fine. That's fine, and that's why we have other videos that tells you why it's fine and why not to pour in too much within an individual before you're actually in a committed relationship. You understand? So yeah, that's a bullet dodge too from both parties.
I want to touch on that when you finish the message.
All right, so Carlene said, a lot of people who feel ashamed of rejection. So a lot of people who feel ashamed of rejection. So most people would prefer to share with one person and leave it there. You know, yeah, most people would prefer to do that too. But within the church, God save us all from a lot of places, different walk of life. And every one of us have a purpose. And the Bible said we overcome the dragon by the power of our testimony. So if it's a situation where the person is fine and feel delivered by sharing it with one person, fine, because maybe that is the person that he or she was supposed to reach. You understand? That's fine too. But what after being in church for some time too, and yourself, Carlin, which you know, most of the person that have gone through some real sticky situation in life, most of the time they are the person that God used to tear down barriers and to deliver person and to go on and to do great wondrous things. You understand it? Because the things that they have gone through have built them and have become such a message that majority of the world are facing and going through, that deliver mass amount of people. So that's why I don't really encourage persons to keep, once you're delivered from stuff and you have reached a place in your life where you're confident and the Lord is urging you to share. Share, because somebody's waiting to hear and to be delivered.
So as I said though, back in the day, we would just ask about relationship, but now there's a phrase, body count. Now we decided to use a phrase because it is what is current Is what is current. And um, we don't ignore the fact that in church, these questions will come up. And how do you handle these questions?
Yeah.
You be honest. No, there's no rule that says the first person who express interest in you, they have to tell them, or that it is a must that you do. It is about you knowing how far you are in this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
in this discussion, in this courtship, in this dating, to say, okay, this person,
It's time. It's like the topic time,
yeah, timing.
timing.
This person is worth my expressing myself.
Yes.
Especially if the person asks you more than once and you're willing to wait on the answer, then that's a good sign.
Yeah. Hi, Renee. Welcome. So Carlin said that is true. All right. So, oh, it's Rena.
Mhm.
Rena Christian said, Mal said to use honey and lime on your throat, that is. Yeah,
Yeah
he
man, I'm working
knows.
on that.
He's
I'm working
working
on
on
that.
it. Oh,
Right?
it was Renee. It's Rena.
Yeah. Um, and as you come on, guys, as you come on, you cannot select the live and say hi to us. We say hi back to you. And if you're not yet a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. Join the family. Yes. Let me just say again, we missed the point.
Yeah, we were talking
No man,
about.
what I just said. Come on,
Yeah, I'm
finish on.
trying to get back there. Yeah, so we were talking about persons work. Oh, the timing.
Right. So if
How
it is,
to
yeah man.
when.
So if it is that the question was asked, earlier in the conversation, and that person bring it up again, you then have to, because what I find is that they you see when persons are thinking about getting married and so forth, there's a level of honesty that is required. But if you know that you don't really have interest, don't allow yourself to go too far in it. Or if you feel that the interest that is coming towards you, you don't have the interest in it, don't allow yourself to go any further in. But
Mhm.
in the event that what you feel in your spirit and your heart and your mind and soul, that this is the one, you have to be honest. You have to be honest, both male and female, because you, as Jessica said, you find out that most of the time when a man would express that he has been with,
Yeah.
before he got saved, he had, if he's going to be honest and tell the sister he had been with 11 women or whatever, then she may explore it more as to, so why this and why that and whatever, just to have an understanding. And it's quite okay to explore that topic because person need to be honest enough, open enough, so they can know what they're getting into. Because a lot of these days, I'm hearing so many divorce taking place,
Yeah.
so many marriages that are going up in flames in 6 months. I'm not saying this particular topic is the cause of it,
No.
but what we're saying is is not being open, not being honest, is one of the major cause for these relationships to go in flames, right? So as it relates to this topic, there being a body count situation, it is okay if you know you have interest and you express and say it don't work out. That's okay. Why? Because you know you're already delivered from it, right? But it still says you have to hold on to a part of you until you feel that this person is the person to really express yourself to. Because you don't want to go around say, four
Are you
male
telling them your business and
has
they go
expressed interest and
nowhere?
then no, it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
You understand me? You have to know the right timing and know. Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
That inward voice. Listen to that inward voice.
I
But however, if it come to the test, that you're gonna tell, be honest.
yeah, I agree with that. But for me, my opinion is the whole thing about in the church and body count, I would say rubbish. Because
When no, when they say
no,
rubbish,
I
what do you
would
mean?
say rubbish for
It should not
anybody.
be. All
There
right.
shouldn't be any such thing as a body count. Because remember, when you are saved, you are delivered, right? You're delivered from what your past is. And unless it's a situation, the person said them save and them not save, and you see them a move a particular way, then you will know if you have approach or you know whatever, because you know, so that person, you understand, not with Christ, they tend to resort back in their ways. You know, what they found to be fun. I can understand in that situation.
But what if the person, yes, finish his
Like,
point.
for instance, I believe that if the person even is a prostitute and they found the Lord and they have changed their life, of course they're going to change their
You're
lifestyle
going to
and
change.
everything. I
Nobody comes
believe
to
that there
Christ and don't
should
change.
it right.
Yeah, what's
So
the
there
meeting?
should not be any judgment. You understand? There should not be any judgment. First of all, say that person now is getting somebody's courting her. And most of the time, you find out that the man that is courting her already know these things and have no problem with it. But the persons who seem to have a problem with it is have no affiliation with the people, them family, them just a brethren in the sanctuary.
Because somebody may know and then know say that brother go date that girl and they know the information about the girl and then must say, why am I going to she? And then go big up.
Exactly. And
Then
they
go
know
big
that
up.
Christ save and he delivers. So at the end of the day, I don't think I have tolerance for that being in church. Body count, I don't have any
That's some
tolerance.
messages.
You understand? Because what if the sisters that are virgin in the church should say then to the men, no, we don't want you because you've been out there, you have too much body count. And we know that most of them want somebody where chase. You understand? But even that within itself have its problem. Because I don't know if anybody, because I wasn't that experienced and I was worried. I was fretting. One of my
You
biggest
weren't that
worry.
experienced or you
No,
weren't
I weren't
experienced.
experienced because I got saved at 15 and me never get to
Yeah,
do
but you
nothing
said,
to.
but you weren't that. You weren't.
No, me read a lot of books and my mind carry me. It prepares me, but not everybody. You have some people where them parents are pastor and who have you. So they not experience anything either. But me, they have my books them long time ago I read before
They
me
said,
get see. I read.
being learned.
Yeah, so my eye dog asleep. You understand?
Hold on. So Marlene says good night. Um, just getting
Hey,
on.
welcome,
She missed the
Marlene.
topic. The topic, well, if you look on the live, you see, but let me say,
Yeah,
topic is should body count
in the
in the
church.
church? Question sign.
Right. So we've been dicing it
And she
up.
says, wow, like you should be resting your voice. I should be, but I didn't want to miss the live.
Right.
So when I'm finished, I will be doing the talking.
So basically, I'm looking at it and I'm saying that everybody act as if you don't have its downsides when you don't have the experience. It have its downsides too.
It
Not to
does.
tell anybody to run to get an experience, so don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that we should not judge one or the other.
One or the other.
Because in our days too, with two persons who never saw experience, but the experience in the mind still come. You used to read Mills and Boone and novels and
Yes.
whatnot. But when I was supposed in the engagement, I had my best friend, her soul recently Sharnet. And I had to be, she was married before me, so I have to ask her a lot of questions and whatever because I have my own worries. Come here and say, suppose me can please my husband when we get married because me never out there I do certain things and I probably can carry on. So that was my concern too. But when you get to talking with the person, you get to understand, say, all right, well, you never experienced that's what two person don't know what they want to do. But we don't but anyway, which way, not making it about us.
If you want,
But
and if you
it's
want to hear the story on that,
go to other
go back to
videos.
our videos about courtship and no, go back to a video about our first year of marriage. You'll hear some stories.
Yes, so Jessica said, yes, that is true. Um, Same. I read those
That
too.
is why.
Yes, my
That,
daughter.
that is why.
Prepare your
That
mind.
is why Miss Jessica is so learned in her
Nothing
in
is
her
wrong. Knowledge
expression.
is power, my daughter. Honestly to God. So Marlene said, no experience means opportunity to get to learn stuff together. And that is
That
true.
is true. That
That
is
is
true.
true too, you
But
know.
but Michelle, you said, and guys, you
Oops,
can
sorry.
chime in.
Yeah.
You're saying that it shouldn't matter. I am saying though that it can matter in the sense
Okay.
that if the conversation comes up,
Yeah.
be willing to speak.
Just
Because what you don't want to do is, for example, although when you come in Christ, we are asked to keep our temples holy,
yeah.
which means no defiling, no,
Oh,
no fornication, yada yada, so forth. We are supposed to keep our bodies holy as a temple of the living God,
yeah.
and also our bodies,
Excuse me.
um, not going through sexual intercourse and whatever. Know that you're saved and say, for that 5, 6 years, whatever, before somebody approaches you, there's no activity going there. So
Mm-hmm.
when you and that person now comes together, it's like a brand new thing again.
Exactly. That's why I don't see what the big deal about this body
And
count.
hence, the other word that I hear is celibate.
Oh
Right?
yes,
Because you have
celibacy.
persons,
Celibacy.
right? You have persons who are not Christians, but who are living their
In
lives,
the world.
and they choose
Choose
to
to
say,
be
"Listen, up,
celibate.
I
Yeah.
have given myself enough. I'm taking a
A
break,
sabbatical.
a sabbatical. I'm taking a break." And so, even some movies, I'll hear them say, "Oh, I've been celibate for 3 years, and I'm
hmm
not willing to break it. I'm waiting for marriage,
The right one, right.
for
And
the
they
right
will
one."
date, but
Yeah,
they will not cross the line.
right.
And that is you really valuing yourself too,
And there's a whole leap of self control.
Yeah, yeah, But it's just that we're looking at the point of where in some person, because people make mistakes, people were forced to do things before
And
they
then
found the
it takes on a
Lord.
life of them, takes on
Yeah,
a life of
it
its
takes on
own.
a life on its own. And that wise, I really don't condemn a soul. It's worse when people make the change,
And
for
you
the
can see that
better. And
change.
you see that change and they're trying. I think that all should be treated equal. You understand? So there's so many other, and that is one of the things too, as we were saying, like relationship breakup, because too much emphasis is placed on the sexual part of it. And is your gift working well? How many persons have pulled that gift? And it's all about the gift, and we know what the gift is.
Mm,
We know the cherry, we
mm,
know that.
mm.
Everybody want to know, oh, have it been popped? How many times have it been popped on the man? I mean, I say, look, calm down, calm down. Whether it have been popped many times or a few times is something that preserve itself. You understand? It cannot finish. It I don't I'm trying not to get in trouble with the word choice of word. It cannot finish, and it's there to be pleasurable because the Lord made it that way. You understand? When and me no want to stray too much, but when the Lord made Adam, the Lord made woman. You understand? A woman for him that's supposed to please him through every time, every season. Look into it. Adam and Eve were the two first person to recreate, right? And have children upon children and children. So if it was a thing that was supposed to wear out, the Lord would have made many ladies and one man, don't it? But because the thing
That's
can
a bit
stand,
extreme.
well, it can stand the test of time. So whether or not a person
There's a
have
guy who said, there's a guy who said it is indestructible.
right,
If unlike the Titanic, it is indestructible.
managing. But on
Right.
a serious
But
note,
but what we're actually saying is this. And guys, of course, Marlene says,
yeah, he mega
yeah,
tried. All right. So who first?
Marlene.
All right. So Marlene said, body should be left in the past. No need to talk about it. Me said that to Marlene. Well, in a sense, because just in case you go find out from the reporter, the mother, because we have many
The
reporters in, and the
paparazzis.
paparazzis, and him go feel like he have been betrayed. Put it
That
on the
is it.
table,
Put it on the
but
table.
you put it on the table just to know
Just for
information, just for
information.
information.
Because if it's a deal breaker for the brother,
At least
God
he
forbid it
know.
is. At least he knows and make him make the choice. But don't be that he finds out or she finds
So it
out
become a whole world of its own
afterwards.
whenever
Yeah,
relevant.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, just enjoy what I take to the table. LOL, unless you are scared. And that's a good point. That's what I was saying about the scenario I asked about the man
Marlene,
who
hold on.
heard about it and
But
take
hold on. So,
himself.
Marlene, are you saying if the man ask about it, you're saying that now you're concerned? Just don't say me bring myself and whatever you can
Yeah.
work with it.
Are you man enough to deal with
No,
it
no,
or
no, no.
not?
If Marlene is saying that, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Anyway,
I,
Jessica
I
said, you can come back to it. Don't forget what I said. Jessica said, some people are scared for real. And that means I steer them scared. STDs and STIs, like I was saying in the beginning. But then you can address that because when you're coming together, what happened? STIs and stuff really will be a weight in the mind of people when the tally of your body code come to light. So, well, see, she answered
right.
that too.
However,
Jessica
however,
answered.
being being in Christ, Jessica, there should not be a worry of that, of STDs and whatever. Why? Because you're
Yes,
supposed to be keeping yourself under God with the
right.
help of the Lord. So that should not be a matter. If and because even if
No,
it's
she mean
somebody,
like the person coming to the Lord, but
yeah,
they
yeah,
should know over time what are they state
yeah,
because
right. And you would not be just seeing somebody walk in the church tonight
yeah,
and want to marry them
and jump with
tomorrow.
them
No, you
tomorrow.
wouldn't want to
Yeah.
do that. So it
But
must
again,
be.
provided that you have some persons that are so dishonest, as you were saying, honesty is the
So
key.
that is where it boils
They
down.
feel, because you may just have some person believe that, oh, I have it and the Lord have healed me.
Right.
And you have some people who are spirited too, you know. They may believe, oh, I have it and the Lord have healed me.
And the
So
habit is
and they
like an
haven't been to the
STD.
doctor to find out anything,
Right.
you know. So
So one of the things that Michelle and I did when we were, no,
courting,
not courting, when we were engaged
engaged to get
and
married.
getting preparing for marriage,
Yeah.
we went to the doctor, my personal doctor, and it was a female,
You
and
can't go
she,
a film doctor, don't trust me. Anyway, just
I
kidding.
took her. Which, all right, let's go. I should take her to Westmoreland.
Eh, well,
Not too far.
not too
So I
far.
took her to my doctor, and my doctor, Dr. Winter, bless her, she's alive and well. And she did her examination and just said to me, Cornell, don't worry yourself. You'll be able to have kids and all is well and so forth. Because, and so it is important that, oh, God, my voice is a bit worse. It is important that the both of you being honest with each other, have that discussion and go to the doctor, right? And the doctor do the checks and whatever.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
everything you need to know can be found out by the doctor.
Yeah, and better find out early before you found out later. So
Yeah,
Marlene said, let me see, Jessica said something. No, Marlene said, you should do tests before you get married. As you're saying, not
right,
everyone got saved a virgin.
right.
True. I need to see your report card because I will have mine. Save some Marlene. Show up for show up. Yeah, I see you summer. Let us
So,
just put it there in the open.
Somali don't act like as if it don't matter. It matter
It
to you
matter, it
because
matter.
you want to know that. Listen, all right,
Not really the body count, but
and
the test is.
Jessica said that most women are more inclined to
Mhm.
accept a man who has experience
Yeah,
rather than someone who doesn't. So
according to the books that she have read and
so
have
you coming
screened
now
through,
to the
which is
table,
true.
you guys, all right, see my card here. Let me see yours.
The truth is, I
And I think
believe that
that
with
is
people,
necessary. It is necessary.
it is necessary, but I think in the church, people will not come with you with the word body count, but they will come with you and ask you how many partners have you ever had anyone. That is like that would be the first thing. Have you ever been with anybody else? After you get comfortable now and getting
And the
serious.
truth is,
That's just the truth.
we decided to use this word because the young people them now they are
Yeah, they're
using these
using it.
terms, right?
They're exposed to these
Right. So
talks.
we have to, stay up with
Yeah.
the
Like some Marlene
discussion.
said, whether I read that already. Oh,
Last
whether you're a virgin or not, you must use wisdom. Human lies. That's true. Human lies for true. Them see something they want, then and me like when I say humans in a man because save and save
because
at
as
some
much as
point
you're a
in life.
Christian, you're still human, and if you don't,
And you don't want to lose the gift where you think you're fine.
and but what is it that people? I think I maybe answer the question, but what is it that people are afraid of?
They're afraid of
It,
losing their opportunity to have, because the thing is, I think a lot of persons believe that, because as you were saying before, when somebody approaches you, it don't mean that you're not going down the aisle,
no.
because when you get the person, you may learn things that is a deal breaker, or you may realize, but this is a bona fide psychopath, whether male or female. The man will forgive them in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, and everybody's so forgiving depending on the situation. You understand? So, all right.
Uh-huh.
So, Brother Raynor said, I wonder what's the ratio of virgin to no virgin. Hey, in the church, that's another topic, Brother Ray. That's a very
Well,
good topic, but
well, the truth is,
I think we'll never
the
know.
truth is, um, a lot of persons, a lot of persons who are married now,
Mm-hmm.
they are bringing up children in the church, and most of the time, these children grow up in the
Yeah,
principles, grow up doing the
grow up.
right thing.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. That's a
so you
good
may find
point.
that the ratio is probably
A young
meaning
person.
more
Yeah.
persons are kept, more ladies, more
Yeah.
and men than those who
No, we're in the age of them. So that's a topic too,
are another topic.
That's another topic.
But
But honestly,
so Marlene,
right. So Marlene said, I will disclose that I am not a virgin, but if you are interested in body count, that is that is insecurity red flag for me. Me said that too. Yeah, that's what I
so
was saying
this is
earlier.
the onion lime sweetie.
The onion lime, sweetie. Because we not really have literal onion
Yeah,
lime yet.
yet we'll get some.
So that's a good thing, man. Because that's what I was saying. You were saying earlier, and don't go around and tell your business to everybody that approaches you. It's about timing in the
But
relationship.
let me ask Marlene, at what point though, Marlene, would it matter to you that your partner or potential partner knows?
When man, I'm Mali.
Marlene, because
What's
because
up, Mali?
all right, to be honest with you, I think the mature person wouldn't care.
As Marlene
However,
said, it depends if his interest is about body count. Because then, as we were saying in the beginning, some person, if that's their only interest, it's about the cherry and the body count and whatever. You realize
all right.
certain things are not and closer early to
So
them.
this question then, how far along in the dating
Oh,
would it be okay for the question about body count to be asked?
me?
Yeah, but you can
Or
answer. But
basically,
it was really directed to
to
Marlene.
Marlene, yeah, but maybe she's
Mm.
distracted at doing
Come on,
two things at
she's
the
true,
time.
yeah.
All right. So basically, as for me, it would be interesting when we see that we're really go down the road of courtship. Really going down the road of courtship, because when there's a shift that you are now thinking and we want to get engaged at the X time, but you may not have the funds as yet. So you start to think of accumulating things to being together. It have now gotten serious to the point wherein everything needs to be on the table.
Mhm.
So until you're really courting me, you really tell me that you're interested to marry me and you want to court me and what have you, fine, because that's when me too, me a tick for hear what I go on to. Because me go have my questions too.
So you
And in asking, you have to provide
so
as well.
hold up. So what if what if yours is higher than his?
Well, in all reality, we know that wouldn't be really, but if that's the case, I'm gonna be honest. Me, I gonna be honest, because maybe it's the last word of hope to see if he's really the one.
Mhm.
But if it's that particular young lady who believe no, so that's the only deal breaker and she's uneasy about, be honest about it. Don't bother hide it. Say, all right, after we engage, and all right, after we get married, all right, after our anniversary, all right, after children, because and then you will know the type of person that you're with, 'cause that's a big deal breaker
For
for some.
some. Jessica.
All right, so Jessica said, then again, it's different from certain perspective, because when you are at a certain age, people make assumptions on the relationships or things you might have done until they are told otherwise.
Mhm.
That's true, because some people and think them promiscuous by how them dress and behave, and that's not the same. And Jessica said also, and surprise, surprise. True. And even in modern time now, you find out that even some young lady, they may put themselves together trendy, even within the assembly. And you may have some that believe that the old landmark must not be moved, and their skirts are down to their ankle, and their hair is as dry as whatever. But you will get the reality check that if you should really get under and find out what's happening, you'll find out that the ones that just trendy is just because they love to look good and love, you know, to put themselves a particular way. And they're the ones who are really the chaste person. And most of the time, sometimes those are the person that really stay on their knees. So it's not about image. And you will find that the person whose skirt can't long enough, his sleeve can't long enough, even their very speech, you understand, in public.
Would not want to disclose their baggage.
Yeah, and they will refuse to let you know what is happening because they know it don't match up with the image where they might try to portray. So it's life at the end of the day. It really is life. Yeah.
Marlene.
So Marlene said, my interest is that the person not in a relationship are married and most have multiple baby mamas. Hey! There we go again, especially the black fraternity. You know?
Okay, so she's looking at the person who is not married and not in church. Well, that is the case generally, especially outside of church. But we're talking about those who are in church. So the truth is.
Explain. I'm sorry. We have. In the beginning, we addressed the world first, Marlene. It's just because, you came on at the time, Eddie. Yeah. But in the beginning of the video, in the first couple of minutes, we address the world first.
What
is happening in the world and versus whatever. And in the last one, now we start about the church.
Because we wanted to make the comparison. To say, if it's necessary to have that discussion in the church, should body count
really count in the church?
Yeah.
You know, should it really even exist? Because when God deliver, you deliver.
But you could just get saved. Marlene says, but you could just got saved. But those things are there.
You did say it, unless it's and what Cornell had said to that was this: you're not going to see somebody just get saved and move towards them for relationship, because what should be most important now is to help them to really transition from being new converts by knowing the word of God and having their own personal relationship with the Lord before they approach about any relationship. So if there's such a person, like the person is new and what have you, whosoever see the person like them from beginning, like love at first sight, go stay on your knee.
Give them time.
Stay on your knee and seek the Lord and ask Lord to strengthen the young new convert and let he or she grow in the Lord, and ask the Lord if it's his will, let she be yours, let him be yours, but don't approach it yet. And approach in time.
So Renar says, never the looks, always character.
Always character.
So
you understand? Unless the person an actress and they make them a split personality. One in the Christian community and one out. But that's true, character.
So we don't look at body count, or body count does not hold the weight. It holds out of the world. In the world,
but not in
versus in the church. It doesn't hold the same weight. It doesn't. Because all of us understand that we are coming from sin into grace.
Right.
And because we are now under God's governance, you can't hold a person according to how they were under Satan's governance. You have to judge them from under God's governance. But it is still necessary to be honest with where you're coming from.
Right. All right. So Marlene said, how long you give them? Because even after 3 years, I still interested in a man with young children. Is it that how long would you give them? Oh, I'm still not. Right. So Marlene, everybody, as Cornell was saying earlier too, everybody have their deal breakers. So what may be like a deal breaker for you with that? you just have to stick with it. And what it may not be a deal breaker for other person, so it would mean that that is not for you.
Yeah.
That person will is not for you. And but for the person who that person is for now,
It
then
will happen
it will
naturally.
happen naturally.
But I have to say,
Gone
trying.
again.
So, for example, Marlene,
Oh,
that the gentleman who has 3 children is interested in you and is pursuing you.
maybe that's what
You
she.
would have to then still say,
Be
be
honest.
honest. So, my brother, I love you with the love of the Lord, but you and your 3 children, I'm not seeing it.
Right. And while that is so, and I respect that, Marlene,
You must
because it's
just
not
be
everybody
honest.
can take on other person's children to become their own.
Right.
And I respect that
And
because
love them as
I
your
love them
own.
as their own. And if for that man to go into a relationship, he needs to find somebody who is able to love those children and yearning for that type of relationship and situation.
Yeah.
You understand? Because children are always innocent and what have you. So there is somebody for everybody. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
But the situation becomes sticky when you will find that even that man with those kids would have to be vigilant, because most of the women that they may tend to go after, it would very well be ladies who are not interested in becoming, it was if they weren't mother before, is to
Yes.
become mothers for somebody else's children.
Yes.
So sometimes those men have to love the children enough to put their needs even before theirs. And I respect that in a woman saying, with all due respect, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Right, I really do, because that really avoids so much things down the road. So many things. So that's honest.
I mean, not lie. We can't stress the importance of being honest. Go ahead.
So Marlon said, worse if the mother not right, full of drama and things.
Hey,
No way. And you know that
yeah,
most
man.
of the time they are, because they're not ready to let go of the relationship when it's
Hold on.
done.
Worse if
I'm coming,
hold
brother
on.
Ray.
Worse if the mother, the mother for the children, see that the man change him life,
Yeah.
have a nice Christian wife, and I live
In a
good.
rich wife
She
yet,
don't
him
see.
not have a rich wife yet. It worse if instead the man clean up, start achieve. It worse if he never that drive and start drive.
Right.
And see the kids them, things are going and everything.
And she
And him
hears
go
say,
get saved.
and she hears say, him like Sister Paula. What if
Lord
she
of
live in a community and know
mercy.
Sister Paula?
Yes, Sister Paula for live
She
on her
she will bring the
knees.
drama for you.
Not in our situation, but in most cases.
She will bring the
So
drama.
Brother Renar said, in the church is more of what you can build together, and each person are different. It's just you have to find the right stick. Right. Them say
So true.
everybody have their own
That
bush.
that sound like a combination of Malika and
Malika.
Irina.
Well, either way, the two are one.
Yeah.
So that's
But that's a
true.
solid point.
That's a solid point. And on that note, at the
Solid
time,
point.
your voice, Rocky.
Yeah. People on it. But I'd love to have some more young people on it, because a lot of the decisions that are being made now, and the marriages that are being formed and then broke up in a 6 weeks, 6 months, 1 year, I believe with counseling and openness, these marriages could have been saved. You
Yeah.
understand me? But there's a level of dishonesty and lack of transparency
And hurt.
and
And
that
unresolved issues.
you understand me? And trust me, you talk about that. We're probably going to probably look at trauma before marriage or something like that. How people transition with their trauma into a marriage and how it affects the marriage. Because sometimes it's more than your partner can handle, but you never tell them before.
Yeah, we
And
have to end
and when
there,
you
the
come out,
voice.
but yeah, we have to close off. It was a lovely discussion, guys.
Yeah,
Michelle,
thank you
yeah,
guys.
let's take
Thank you for
over.
being here. But we really have to close. We could really go on, but his voice is getting very starchy and so on. And we have long past an hour. You know, but when you're in good company, time
Yes.
fly.
Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and love you guys so
It
much.
appears that everybody who came on the live liked it.
Yeah, so we really do
Love and appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Marlene, come early next time.
Yes, good night, Marlene. Thank you for being here. Also,
Thank you,
Jessica
Jess. Always
as well.
good.
Brother Christian, Sister Christian, even though she
Yeah,
Malika, even though she
yeah.
didn't say much, and everyone else, everybody
And if you're
who
watching the
have chipped
video,
in at some point. And I know Tanisha always watches even when she don't.
and if you're
She takes
watching the
her
video
time.
afterwards, guys, just hit the like button first. That's the most you can. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
and
the least you can
share.
do. It is free to hit the like button. It is free to subscribe.
Yeah, good
It
night,
is free to
Raynor. Good
share. All
night.
right, guys. So thank you. That's right. Good night.
And yeah, good night from us. This is Michelle and Cornell, and welcome again to all our new subscribers.
Bless you, guys.